Data fetching with the Next.js app directory has a really incredible developer experience. Because every layout and page is a server component, they can access server-side resources like your environment variables and databases, and they can do so without the need to pass props to the component like you would in older versions of Next with get server-side props and get static props. Server components can also be async, allowing you to use async await just like a regular function. This makes the ergonomics of data fetching dead simple, like you can use Prisma, the Firebase SDK, or the Fetch API to grab data with a single line of code. And there's no need to pass it as props down to a child component. But data fetching is not just about the developer experience. There's also huge performance gains to be had here as well. For example, imagine we have two nested layouts and a page, each one that does its own data fetching. Instead of fetching data one by one, it fetches everything in parallel, which can dramatically improve the rendering time and time to interactive for a web page. Now, when it comes to fetching data, you'll often use the Fetch API from the web. However, it's important to know that React extends the Fetch API to provide automatic request deduping. If you fetch the same data in multiple components, Next will automatically keep track of any fetch calls that use the same inputs, which means you as a developer don't have to worry about fetching the same data multiple times, which could lead to unnecessary API calls and network usage. In addition, you can control the caching behavior of fetch by passing in an object with an optional cache property. For static data, you can force it to use the cache, or for highly dynamic data, you can specify no store to never use the cache. And for everything in between, the revalidate option allows you to specify a certain number of seconds, at which point the cache will be invalidated and the next fetch call will generate new data. What's awesome about Next is that you have a ton of control over caching at both the page level and the data fetching level, making it easy to fine-tune your app for optimal data usage.